Good morning, you two. What I'm going to explain to you this morning, what I'd like you to do for your English today. What we're going to do is carry on telling the story of the Great Fire of London, which we've looked at a lot in class. We've already started to make some pictures, use some phrases, use some important vocabulary and words to describe how the fire started, when it started, why it spread so quickly. What I'd like you to do today is to think about the next part of the story and draw some pictures, and again use some phrases, some captions, some important words to tell me how they tried to stop the fire and to explain about the important person who started writing down what was going on in London at that time. I have included on the day's planning for your learning a link to the YouTube clip that we watched about Magic Grandad, so please watch that again to remind yourselves. There's also an additional link to another YouTube clip with some more information about the story of the fire. Okay, what I'm going to try and do now is share with you to just refresh your of the whole story, and then I will explain which part I'd like you to do today. Okay. So, we know that on early Sunday morning, on the 2nd of September 1666, the fire started at Thomas Farriner's bakery on Pudding Lane. We know that the fire spread really quickly because the houses were really close together and made from wood, and people tried to escape from it. Started to talk about Samuel Pepys. Now, he's the important person I'd like you to include in your pictures and in your information today, because he started to write down about what was going on in London in his very famous book, his diary. Okay, now again, this is a part of the story I'd like you to include today in your work, is to show how they tried to stop the fire by creating a fire break, by pulling down houses or blowing up houses in the path of the fire to stop the flames from being able to reach the houses next door so easily. Okay. And also how, people were escaping on boats on the River Thames, taking all the things they could onto boats to try and get out of the way of the fire. Okay. Also, we've discussed this a little bit in class about how carts were banned from going near the fire. Now, we've talked about why this happened, but I'd like you to see in your pictures today whether you could write a sentence to explain why they were banned. On Monday evening, the fire spread very close to the Tower of London, but it didn't actually reach the Tower of London, which is good news for London. But unfortunately, St Paul's Cathedral was destroyed by the fire. Wednesday, the fire starts to burn more slowly because the wind becomes less strong. And then on Thursday, the fire is finally under control and is put out. Okay. So what I'd like you to do for your work today, your pictures today, is to include the parts of the story where we explain how they tried to stop it, what they tried to do to stop the flames spreading so quickly, and tell me about the important person who was writing things down in his diary. There's also some interesting facts that we learned watching Magic Grandad about what he did to try and save some of his important things. And also include that sentence to tell me why the carts were banned from going too close to the fire. Good luck with all that, and I look forward to seeing your work, which you can send to me via the home learning email address. I hope the PowerPoint shared with you. If it didn't, watch the YouTube clips and then remember as much as you can. Look forward to seeing your work. Bye bye for now, you two.